Did I mention that the Denver Nuggets own the Los Angeles Lakers? Do you guys know that the Nuggets have now won 13 of their last 14 games against the Lakers? You know, I know we joke around about this, and these terms get thrown around very loosely. The who's your daddy, right? And there's a lot of that with the Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. I see that. You know, I've mentioned this before. There are a lot of times I'll listen to a post-game show that's on the other side because I want to listen. I want to see what the other side has to say. So I did that, and one of the things that I think came out of this entire thing is like I have nothing to combat that. If a Nuggets fan came on and right now said we own the Los Angeles Lakers, I'd probably say nothing. I'd just probably put my head down. I would not make eye contact with them. Denver has won 13 of 14 against the Lakers. They've won 5 regular season games in a row, dating back to last year. Might have been 6 now. I think it's 5. And then they got the 8 playoff games, right? 8 playoff games. A year and a half ago, they swept the Lakers. Last year, they won in 5 games, and they didn't have Aaron Gordon on Saturday. It didn't matter. Denver psychologically owns the Los Angeles Lakers. They own them mentally, and they own them because they're just better. They play better basketball. It's a better brand that the Nuggets bring out every time they play the Lakers, and I think it's a combination of 2 things. I think sometimes you could watch a game and you could say to yourself, all right, well, that team is just better. And then there's other times you can watch a game and you could say, they psychologically, that team just knows it has an advantage against their opponent. They own them mentally. For the Nuggets, it's both. They own them on the basketball floor. They own them before the game starts. They own them after the game ends. They own the Lakers. How about this? Look how crazy this stat is. You guys know that the Lakers took a 10-point lead. I was there Saturday night. I'm like, hey, you know, it was actually kind of funny because I've been obviously so many games. I worked at ESPN LA for 15 years. That entire time that I was there, we owned the Lakers radio broadcast. So just think about how many times I've walked into crypto.com arena over the years, whether I was on the business side, whether you were entertaining your clients, whether I was there just covering the team and watching Lakers basketball. You know, over time, you don't really get that excited anymore to go to a game. It's like, no, this is just part of the gig. I've been doing it for so long. I was genuinely excited to go to the game on Saturday. I thought to myself, and you guys have heard me, whether I'm doing the show here or I'm doing it on the post-game show, I want to see the Lakers versus good teams. I love seeing that. I want to see how they stack up against the elite in the Western Conference. And even if Denver's not elite, because, you know, they've lost some of the key role players over the years, Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, KCP. Whether they're elite or not, they have the best player in the world. By the way, that conversation, I'll get into it in a second. I don't want to know who's going to be the MVP. I want to know who's going to be 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Because Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world, and it ain't close. It's not even close. But the thing I was getting to, so I'm getting ready to go to the game on Saturday. I was genuinely excited to go game. I'm saying to myself, I'm like, all right, you got a team that's got off to a good start, the Lakers. They're 10-5 starter. Should they have beat the Orlando Magic? Sure, they should have beat Orlando. Okay, it didn't happen. You missed some free throws, some mental errors there, but I'm good with the Lakers. I'm good with how they started. I think this is going to be great to see them against Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and the Denver Nuggets. Let's see how the Lakers do. First half, they're up 10. By the time the half closes out, Lakers are up 6. Let me just tell you how crazy this swing was. You never really see a swing like this in the NBA. Lakers went from up 10 late in the second quarter to down 29 in the fourth quarter. Denver owns the Lakers. They just do. I wouldn't be surprised moving forward that every time the Lakers play the Nuggets, you're going to have some personnel, some staff outside of crypto.com arena, and they have their logo there that says the Denver Nuggets, and then they determine whether the Lakers can walk into their own building. Denver owns them. They absolutely own them. I want to play a quote for you guys, or I'm going to play a quick piece of sound for you guys, which I think tells a little bit of the story. And this is not a good look for the Lakers. But let me share my screen with you guys real quick. This is JJ Redick right after the game. Listen to the first thing he says about the Lakers in this game. Take a quick listen.
JJ, what do you think happened in the third quarter?
Schematically, certainly we'll have to review some stuff. Clearly, the spirit to compete just wasn't there.
Clearly, the spirit to compete just wasn't there. I'll play it again. You don't hear this very, very often here. Listen to this.
Certainly we'll have to review some stuff. Clearly, the spirit to compete just wasn't there.
All right. I'm going to stop it right there. That's all I really need to hear. By the way, JJ, do me a favor, my brother. I'm a fan of JJ Redick. I'm a fan of what this guy has done so far. I think he's going to be a Laker coach for a while. Can you do me a favor? What was that, lifesaver in your mouth? What's going on in your mouth? Why don't you take that out for the postgame show? We don't need to hear you sucking on something while we're listening to the postgame show. I don't know if you need that. Let's go ahead and be a little bit more professional on that standpoint. But let me go back to what he just said right there. The quote that for me just really, really resonated and stood out. Clearly, the spirit to compete wasn't there. So let me get this straight. The Lakers are playing a team that has completely dominated them. It's the first time they get to play Denver so far this year. I'm sure there's got to be a lot of questions in the pregame, listening to JJ talk. There was a lot of interaction of, hey, how much did you go back and watch the last couple of years? Denver's really, really owned the Lakers over. How much of that can it continue? And he said, look, maybe to an extent it could continue, but at the end of the day, it's different coaching staffs. This is not the same exact team. Whatever happened in the past, it does not apply to tonight's game. I got to imagine Lakers are looking forward to playing the Denver Nuggets. They're probably saying to themselves, okay, listen, we've got off to a really good start. We got a really good team as well. They got to feel good about where they're sitting, where they're going, the whole thing. They come out in the third quarter, and your coach says the spirit to compete wasn't there. What gives the Lakers the right? What gives them the right to come out and not compete against Denver? And they didn't compete. And then before you knew it, you're looking up at the score and you're saying to yourself, were they just up 10 and now they're down 5? Are Lakers down 8? Are they down 15? Are they down 20? It all just kind of happened so fast. And then before you know it, I'm looking around, getting ready to start the postgame show. And I'm like, where's everybody going? Well, I know where they're going. They're going home. There's nothing left to watch. Just an ass kicking by Denver. But I thought, to me, what was much more disappointing than the loss was that quote from JJ Redick, that the squad didn't have a spirit to compete against a team that you would think that the Lakers would get up for. You would think that, and I heard Anthony Davis saying some stuff after the game that all the misses that they had were discouraging. All the makes that Denver was hitting. I think Denver shot 60% from the field and 50% from the three-point line. I remember because I did the post game. But I think you take that combination and you hear Anthony Davis saying, well, it's because they were hitting shots and we weren't hitting shots. That I listening to things like that is very frustrating. If you're not ready to compete against the Denver Nuggets, and if you're getting discouraged because you're not hitting a couple of shots and they're hitting a couple of shots, what does that say about your squad? That tells me that that's a team that is not ready to fight. That also tells me that that's a team that, that ain't championship DNA. And I'm not trying to make a case for you that the Lakers, as constructed right now, are a championship team. But when you lose to Denver, you lose the way you did when your coach says basically you guys were not ready to compete in the second half or disinterested in competing. And then I hear AD and some of these other players, it's a make or miss league. And when they're hitting shots and we're not, that's discouraging. It's like, all right, well, freaking fight. I mean, do something about it. Lakers didn't do it. And they got their asses kicked, and they deserve to get their asses kicked. And it was just another game, I thought, against Denver where they brought you right back down to reality. And that's where I kind of walked away from this past weekend watching the Lakers.